Hello, YouTube friends. I know, long time no speak, long time no see, long time no drive on the Garden State Parkway. Yeah, I've been absent for a long while, and so I just wanted to update everybody on my YouTube channels, where I've been, what's been happening. And so I've had a kind of stressful last month has been kind of stressful with various things happening and having to deal with everything and such. And I'll just highlight what was going on in no particular order, just whatever comes to my brain. Let's see. Victor's father was diagnosed with dementia. We weren't surprised or anything, but he only has one doctor that he goes to, a cardiologist, just to make, because he's 93 years old, and he just goes, make sure his heart is good, and that's his, basically his doctor as well. And the doctor was really only checking him out for heart-related issues and blood pressure and such. But finally, I think that he went to the doctor, and the doctor called Victor to say that he wanted to speak with him. And so, yeah, he had his father go to see a psychiatrist and a neurologist and such. And yes, he was tested, and he does have dementia beginnings. No, actually, no. He's got dementia. It's not where he's totally out of it, but he has obvious memory issues and other issues and such. So he is now in a nursing home. So this has been like a couple of weeks sort of in the making, and because he really can't live alone. And also, in terms of having a nurse or somebody live with him, it just turned out that wouldn't work, just based on his personality and such, and his, need for independence. Luckily, he was okay, and he understood about going to a nursing home for some reason. I don't know why. And it's a nursing home that's really awesome. And anyway, so everything worked out really, really well with that. But that was stressful also, moving him in and getting him situated and such, and making sure that he's happy, and checking out the nursing home, making sure it's an A-rated place. Also, we had another incident happen. Victor's aunt passed away. She had been in hospice. She passed away about a week and a half ago, and Victor is her, what is it called? He's in charge of her will, and all financial stuff. And we knew it was going to be a big problem when she passed away, and that's what ended up happening. She has 3 children, all in their 50s, and 2 of them are married and have families and such, but she has one daughter who's I don't know how old she is. She's 50-something, and she still lives with her mother. She never really made a life for herself out of, her family, and she doesn't have no boyfriend, no, nothing, and her whole life has been just basically living with her mother, and she has this part-time job, and so she had felt, and she had told Victor many, many times, she said that, since she's with her mother all these years, and, so she's in the house, and she takes care of her and stuff, and she feels that she should get more money in the will. However, Victor's aunt left a third for each of the children, so she's getting the same thing as her 2 brothers. And so she's fighting it. She found herself a lawyer, and she's contesting the will. And, Victor, we knew this was going to happen and stuff, but it's very, very stressful because, on the one hand, Victor loves his cousins too. And, but his aunt did, he had talked to his aunt about that, that his cousin's going to contest it, and that's what she did. So now we have to deal with that and stuff, and I can't even really help him because I'm over at my parents' house now. Well, my father's house now. So So we have that happening. Also, what happened was my mother had stopped eating and drinking and swallowing. And it was very, very upsetting because we felt, okay, this is it. This is going to be the start of her total decline because she is, at end stage Alzheimer's. So we were at the home, and my father and I were at the home and getting everything ready and, going into the office to make sure that her wishes for the end of life are going to be carried out. And because she has hospice there, actually. She they have hospice right there at the nursing home, a separate section. So that's where she's going to die one day. Well, about 2 or 3 days she didn't eat or drink. Suddenly, she started eating again and drinking, and with a vengeance. Just as much, because that's the one thing that she does do. She eats and drinks. If she sees food in front of her, she will eat it and swallow it. She sees a cup come to her, she will drink it, and it's like amazing. And she continues to eat and drink, and they weigh her. There's no change in her weight. Even those few days where she had stopped eating, there was no change in her weight. So there was some sort of obvious, for whatever reason, there was some correction that she was making internally for herself in terms of her body weight. Unexplainable. So we have that. And the major thing that had happened was my father had surgery. He had surgery last Wednesday, and this is related to about 11 years ago, he had prostate cancer. And at the time, he opted to have the radioactive seed implant. And unfortunately, like the seed implant took care of the cancer, and he's been cancer-free since. But the radiation escaped his prostate and burned a lot of different areas, like in his bladder area, and that whole area got burnt, and his urethra was affected. All the area around there was affected, so he became incontinent a few years ago, totally incontinent. And it was a very, very big hassle for him, because it's hard, like for a man to constantly, he has to catheterize himself sometimes when there's a blockage, and he had to wear adult diapers, and it was like, it's hard for a man. Even for a woman, it would be difficult to do all that stuff. And for a man, and for him, it was very, very difficult and embarrassing, and he didn't tell a lot of people about it. Well, he even had actually Botox injections in that area. They give Botox now to stop leaking and such, so that you have more control over when you go to the bathroom. I will be right back, because I have to go through the Easy Pass, and I need some water. I will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. I'm back. I just stopped over here at Starbucks because I want to bring Victor a cup of coffee. So, okay. So, what else do I want to say? So, leaving out with my father. So, my father had the surgery last Wednesday to get a artificial urinary sphincter. And that's sort of a little bit of a major surgery. It took 2.5 hours to implant this new sphincter for urination. And he's going to be controlling it with a button that is implanted inside of him. So I'm not going to get into the gross details and such, but hopefully this will put an end to his incontinence problem, and so he'll be able to, he won't be leaking anymore, and hopefully he won't have any blockages anymore, and he can control when he urinates. And the worst that he'll ever have to wear is maybe like a little bit of a pad, just to catch in case there's any droplets that leak. So no more, hopefully no more diapers, and no more self-catheterizing and such. So we'll see. So like, this was a last resort, and he had been putting that off because, like, who wants to have surgery? He had to have like two slices in his body in different places to implant this artificial sphincter. So that was difficult. So it was like, but the thing is that he's actually doing very, very well. I thought he was going to be in a lot of pain, and I was afraid, that he was going to have to take a lot of painkillers. And, when you take those narcotics, they're very, very constipating. And so even beforehand at the hospital, they were giving him stool softeners. And, okay, I know too much information, but surprisingly, he had very little pain and still has very little pain. He had to take, hold on one second. Look how close this person is parking to me. And he has no reason to do so. Literally, I think there's about 4 inches between me and his car. Absolutely amazing. Okay. All right. It's going to be like a hassle now pulling out. What a jerk. Oh my God. I'm going to when I pull out, I'm going to hit him. Hopefully he's just going to go in and get coffee and leave. One sec. Nope, I guess not. Okay, so he only had to take 1 painkiller when he came home. He was in the hospital 2 nights. He came home, he took 1 painkiller. The next day he took 2 painkillers, and every day since he needs about 1 painkiller. Literally. I mean, and he has 2 slices in his body. One in a very, very tender place, if you know what I mean, and one in his lower abdomen, and it's just amazing. And I'm so thankful, so grateful. And so I've been staying at my father's house ever since a couple of days before his surgery. So I think that's about it. I mean, there's other stuff too, but this is the major stuff that's been happening that's kept me from being online. I've been on Facebook the last couple of days, but in terms of watching any videos from the groups that I'm on, they've been very, very few. And I've been communicating with some friends online, on Facebook and elsewhere, and email and texting and phoning and So, okay, so that's where I've been, and I will be back very, very soon, to my specific groups to post things and updates and such. And, okay, so if you've gotten this far, thank you for listening, and thanks for, driving with me, keeping me company, and, okay, I'm going into Starbucks. I'm going in, don't stop me. I'm going in. Okay, bye-bye.